The employees lied and used fake documents to obtain the interview with my mother. She's achieved, and it's quite a moment for the family.
The royal family wakes up early, but on this morning the silence inside Kensington Palace felt heavy, almost electric. A single signature, Prince William's looping hand at the bottom of a one-page order, had just frozen every stream of royal cash flowing toward Queen Camilla's sprawling circle of cousins by marriage, and very convenient consultants. By mid-morning, aides were whispering in hallways, phones were lighting up in newsrooms, and yet the man at the center of it all said nothing. If you're ready for the inside story, and you never want to miss another royal revelation, tap that subscribe button right now. Why would the future king risk detonating a feud that has smoldered for half a century? Because of a tape. A voice message that was never meant to leave a dusty family archive, until it did. Stay with me, because what that tape revealed, and the dominoes it knocked down, might redraw the monarchy's future in real time. But before the ink on William's decree even dried, everyone wanted to know what exactly was on that tape. Some leaks burst like hydrants. This one seeped like water under a locked door. 3 weeks ago, a crackling MP3 labeled Only Dad for Laura and Tom surfaced first in a private chat used by retired palace footmen. Within 48 hours, the audio had hopped to encrypted forums, then to a well-known London podcast producer who smelt a ratings bonanza. The speaker? Brigadier Andrew Parker Bowles, Camilla's ex-husband, sounding reflective, almost tired. No tabloids have aired the full 40-minute recording. Legal injunctions are flying, but multiple insiders confirm the same spine-chilling outline. Andrew never spits accusations. Instead, he sketches a pattern. How small courtesies became calculated leverage, how charitable lunches morphed into power breakfasts, how someone he once loved seemed to treat marriage itself as a strategic lane change toward the Windsor fast track. He never utters the word manipulation, but listeners describe feeling it in every pause. And when the brigadier sighs, "Perhaps I was a bridge, not a destination," even hardened press officers admit goosebumps. Word reached William in less than a day. He ordered a discreet playback in a secure study, no staff, no phones, just headphones and the cold clarity of hindsight. By the time the last crackle faded, he understood two things. The monarchy's silent shield policy would look like complicity, and decisive action had to come from him, not his father. Decisive action always needs a paper trail, but first, someone had to follow the money. The public already knew Prince William had quietly declined to rehire Camilla's sister, Annabel Elliot, as the Duchy of Cornwall's in-house designer. The Duchy's 2024 annual report spelled it out in plain numbers, a polite, surgical end to nearly 2 decades of steady fees. What the report didn't reveal was the web behind that single contract. Royal auditors traced at least 7 small charities that, year after year, granted bursaries to heritage restoration consultants whose surnames matched Camilla's wider clan. Perfectly legal, deeply opaque. Then came the kicker. A £5 to £6 million annual drift, scholarships here, consultancy retainers there, quietly approved under past household budgets. None of it smelled criminal. All of it looked like a parallel support system that survived on tradition and lack of scrutiny. Critics pointed to Camilla's son, Tom Parker Bowles, who just last week told Marie Claire he'd probably be dead if handed a trust fund, insisting hard work shaped him. Admirable sentiment, yes, but palace accountants now wondered why so many non-royal relatives seemed to land well-paid roles directly under royal umbrellas. With every spreadsheet William studied, the tape's undertones grew louder. Intent matters, his legal counsel reminded him. Optics matter even more, he replied, and optics were about to shift dramatically. Before daylight, Kensington's lights were burning because the heir to the throne had decided silence would no longer protect the crown. At 4:07 a.m., William convened what staff now whisperingly call the Red Eye Council. No titles, no uniforms, just trusted advisors, forensic accountants, and one queen-in-waiting wrapped in a shawl. Catherine's voice never rose. "Do nothing in anger," she murmured, quoting the late queen. Yet her eyes held the unspoken counter-truth. Doing nothing at all would let the rot spread. The accountant's presentation was brutal in its simplicity. A color-coded map of payments stretched across property trusts, bursary programs, and maintenance contracts. The amounts weren't ruinous. Chump change next to Crown Estate billions, but the pattern suggested something William could no longer ignore: influence coded in respectability. He asked a single question. If this were any other institution, would we call it good governance? No one answered. They didn't have to. An hour later, William pulled a fountain pen from his jacket and drafted a sentence that would echo around the world. Effective immediately, the Duchy of Cornwall and associated royal households shall discontinue all discretionary financial support to members of the Shand, Parker Bowles family outside HM the Queen Consort. By first light, that single sentence was racing toward every newsroom on the planet. Palace press officers live for crisis, yet even they looked stunned when copies of the decree dropped at 9 a.m. sharp. Headlines detonated within minutes. William freezes Camilla's clan. Royal Cold War erupts. Television tickers screamed Windsor Rift, while social media spiraled into memes of icy crowns. Camilla's legal team answered within 24 hours, labeling Andrew Parker Bowles as recording selectively edited and warning that context is absent. But context never stops a wildfire. Commentators suddenly dredged up every financial rumor the Crown had ever shrugged off: offshore trusts, blurred charity lines, luxurious allowances spun as heritage upkeep. For the first time in decades, the question wasn't if royals received public money, but how and why. Inside Buckingham, King Charles faced an impossible geometry: wife, son, crown, 3 points, no straight line connecting them. His official statement praised William's diligent stewardship and Camilla's unwavering service, a diplomatic sentence that convinced no one. But the shockwave didn't stop at Britain's shores. It ricocheted across an entire Commonwealth, looking for reasons to break free. In Jamaica's parliament, Republican advocates seized the moment. Opposition leader Mark Golding declared, "The time has come to become a republic within the Commonwealth." His speech trended worldwide under the hashtag Crown or Country. Australia's breakfast shows revisited the age-old referendum question: should a distant monarch remain head of state after this latest family business scandal? Canadian talk radio hosts debated if freshly minted coins bearing King Charles's profile might now look awkward in wallets calling for transparency. Even in smaller Caribbean nations, student unions circulated petitions to remove the monarchy from constitutions drafted before most of them were born. Normally, Buckingham Palace weathers storms by waiting out the news cycle. This felt different, a moral narrative, not merely a gossip headline. In an era demanding accountability from every institution, the Crown's ancient magic mystery was starting to look like secrecy instead. And within the palace walls, 3 radically different survival plans were battling for the king's signature. Camp 1, glass walls, younger courtiers, many with corporate resumes, insist on a full forensic audit released to the public. Sunlight or slow death, one reportedly told a colleague. Their creed: sacrifice a little dignity now to keep the institution relevant for another century. Camp 2, the backroom deal, veteran advisors push for hush-hush mediation. Restore a modest stipend to Camilla's kin, extract a signed non-disparagement clause, and hope Andrew Parker Bowles' tape fades into obscurity. Camp 3, the fortress, traditionalists brand both ideas naive. The monarchy, they argue, has survived world wars and divorces by not reacting. Why hand the press more fodder? King Charles oscillates daily, insiders say. 1 hour he instructs aides to draft openness measures, the next he shelves them. Every cancelled meeting drips fuel onto rumor fires. Yet outside that chessboard of strategists stands the prince who toppled the first piece, and he isn't retreating. If William feels the weight, he doesn't show it. He carries out hospital visits, youth center chats, and environmental briefings with a steady gaze, yet reporters note the new steel in his posture. Allies call him the first Windsor to treat integrity as a non-negotiable KPI. Critics whisper he's underestimated how delicate the family architecture really is. Communication with his father now travels in carefully phrased memoranda. Family dinners are scheduled, postponed, rescheduled. Camilla's calendar quietly empties. Official reasons cite strategic rest. But every absence becomes a headline anyway. Even household staff have begun picking sides. One footman leaked a single line to a Sunday paper: "We all feel like we're living in 2 different palaces at once." The monarchy has long thrived on symbolic unity, balcony waves, trooping the color smiles. Now the cracks aren't just visible, they've been announced in royal ink. So where does a 1,000-year-old institution go when the heir apparent trades silence for sunlight? Here's the picture. An heir who decided that inherited hush money was more dangerous than public outrage, a queen consort forced to defend not romance but receipts, and a king suspended between loyalty and legacy. The monarchy can choose transparency, risking short-term pain for long-term trust, or retreat into fortress walls and hope modern audiences still accept mystery in place of answers. History teaches that crowns survive because they adapt, or they don't. William has drawn his line. Whether you see it as a courageous course correction or a perilous family schism, one fact is immovable: he's turned a private grievance into a public referendum on royal accountability. So what do you think? Was this the fearless shake-up the palace needed, or a reckless gamble with centuries of tradition? Drop your take in the comments right now. Your voice matters here more than ever. And if you want to be first on every twist still to come, from hidden ledgers to possible royal reconciliations, smash that subscribe button and join our growing community. Because this story, it's only getting started.